Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my home. I'm so glad you're here. It's a beautiful Monday here. I'm enjoying summer as much as I possibly can here in the boonies of Northern Illinois. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Rita Hickman. I'm a women's burnout coach and a shiatsu massage therapist. I've been practicing for about 10 years. And my specialty is helping women reverse all of the um, all the things which are making their life not feel good. Hey, Jason, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. A lot of great information on burnout, a lot of great information on how our body mind works, and I come from an Asian medicine perspective. Hey, Diana, great to see you. And Carrie's here too. We have a lot of people I haven't seen before. So glad you're here. So today's topic is about, are you angry or are you sick? So I've spent, I dealt with a lot of illnesses and a lot of feeling angry for a big chunk of my life. It's because I didn't learn a lot of the skills on how to manage how I felt, and I didn't have many skills on how to manage my body, how to take good care of myself. But you know what? The truth is that the majority of us didn't. The majority of us were raised in a culture or family where there was a lot of fight or flight. There was a lot of survival, a lot of danger going on, maybe trauma, emotional violence, physical violence, and we never really learned the basics on how we work, which is my job. My job is to help teach people and coach people through to get the basics so that their body can start to heal itself. So about 15, 16 years ago, I was waking up every single morning and I felt miserable. I was vomiting. I was on the toilet. I was looking at people and I couldn't stand them. And that's not who I was. Hey, Shayna, great to see you. That's not who I was. I wasn't someone who was angry all the time, but that's how I felt. I didn't feel better until at least noon every day. Hey, Janae, nice to see you. Around that time of my life, I finally hit the point where I couldn't stand it anymore. I couldn't stand being so angry at the people that I cared about and so angry about life. There was no reason, there was no purpose. Now, here's the neat thing about our brain, though. When we don't understand something, when we don't know what's going on, our conscious mind, those, 2 to 3 tablespoons of gray matter, when we don't understand something, our brain furiously looks for something to explain it within our experience, within our background, within our life, from something that we've read. We furiously try to make up a reason or a story to explain why we're feeling the way that we feel. Hey, Karen, great to see you. There was this experiment probably about 50 years ago where people would have these grand mal epileptic seizures. And so the only help they had at the time was to cut the corpus callosum, to divide the right side of the brain from the left side of the brain. And so they couldn't communicate with each other anymore. That was the only way to cut down on the seizures and help make these people as functional as possible. So they decided to do some research with them. And they would do something like cover the left eye and hand them an umbrella and say, here's an umbrella, it's part of the research experiment, this is what's going on. And then they would cover the right eye and open up the left eye and say, why do you have an umbrella? And they would come up with things like, because I thought it might rain today. And the researchers would push a little bit more. They'd be like, thought it would rain today, but the weather's sunny outside. Well, before I left, it felt like it might rain, and so I brought the umbrella with me. Hey, Margaret, good to see you. So our brains would come up with these reasons, these explanations and stories and beliefs and ideas to explain how we felt. Now, when we were kids, this happened a lot, because I don't know if it happened with you, but I had to make up a lot of my own stories as to what was happening in the world, what was going on when I was small. And when you have a child's brain, you don't have you don't have the ability to understand the complexities of living life. You don't have the experience or the resources. And if you don't have people in your life who help explain what's happening, who help tell you, give you another interpretation or another reframe, then we come up with our very own explanation. And that's kind of where we've been for a long time. If you had been a kid and somebody said to you very clearly, "Oh, you're feeling angry." Well, let's look at that. Are you angry for, because something happened to you? Or are you angry because maybe you haven't had enough water today? Are you tired? Do you need a nap? Is your blood sugar low? Have you gotten outside in the sunshine and nature? Have you had a chance to talk to your friends? Have you gotten grounded lately? Have you done something that makes you feel good? If we'd been asked these questions when we were little, when we would get angry, to start meeting our physical needs, then now as an adults we'd have a much better handle on, oh, let me look at this. Is this a physical issue, or is this really something where I need to deal with, that I've been wronged or hurt or something I don't want to put up with? That's the question you need to start asking yourself when you get angry. I still feel angry in the mornings. And so this morning, what I did was I sat there and I let all of my anger go in my head. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. I listened to everything that that my anger had to say. And it said stuff that I've directed and projected at other people in the past. It said things like, you've betrayed me. You never take care of me. You don't listen to me. Why? You never pay attention to what I need. Hey, Lillian. You treat me as if I'm nothing. You expect me to put up with all of these burdens and all of these issues and stresses, and you don't give me any credit, and you don't take care of me, and you leave me in these situations, and I'm tired of it, and I'm angry. And I thought, wow, those are some things that I've thought about other people in other situations. What if at least a part of our anger, a big piece of our anger, could be that our body's trying to talk to us? So the chemicals of emotion are one of the ways that our brain and our body talk to each other. So when we have an emotion, the emotion could be coming from our brain, a trigger from a memory or a belief, or it could be coming from our body, or it could be magnifying each other. The brain's releasing some, the body's releasing some, and now it's, this big, huge blow up. Now, we can't always deal with this, we can't always change the situations that we're in, right? Because it's a complex world. There's a lot of people out there with their own agendas, their own pasts, their own issues and problems going on. So, but what you can control are how you treat your body. So if you've been noticing words like, you're doing this to me again, you're betraying me, I can't stand this, I'm sick of this, I'm done with it, you always, treat me as if I don't matter, you always treat me as if I'm less than. That may be true in the relationship that you're in, but that's not always something you can control. What you can control is how many of those messages are coming from your body. And honoring your body, giving it something that makes it feel good, that it needs, that it's screaming out for it. It's screaming out for it by getting angry. By getting angry in situations which might be justified, but if you were in a different situation, let's say on vacation, might not bother you as much, because your physical needs are finally getting met. So I want you to take a look at that today. Look at some of the things that are coming up into your head when you get angry or frustrated. Look at them, listen to them, and apply them to your body and see if that's true. See if there are things or situations, hey Tara, that your body could honestly be telling you, could honestly be angry about, that you, yay, I know, Tara's seeing me live. Something you could honestly be angry about, that that your body could be talking to you. Hey, Sharon. So I want you to look at your thoughts, pay attention to your thoughts, notice when you've gotten angry, and instead of immediately projecting it outwards, I want you to say, is this something my body is telling me? Is this a message my body is communicating to me about what I've been doing to it? About what I'm not doing for it? And instead of blowing up, or shutting down, or getting overwhelmed, I want you to do one thing, just one, that will make your body feel better, that your body feels like it's feeling nurtured. Here's a couple suggestions. You could drink a glass of water. You could eat something like a complex carbohydrate that will level out your blood sugar. You could go outside, take your shoes off, and put your feet in the grass. You could create something. You could write a poem. You could write lyrics. You could play your flute. You do sound music like what we did, sound healing like we talked about last week. You could put on something beautiful today. So that's what I did. I put on something beautiful. You could wear something beautiful or look at something beautiful or give yourself a 5-10 minute break to enjoy the flowers in your yard. All right. When you're angry, yes, part of it may definitely be the situation. And part of it may be your past and issues and things you haven't dealt with and things you're not ready to deal with. And that's okay too. But a part of it is also your body saying, you have betrayed me again. You have not given me the things that I need. You have expected things of me that I can't do. You expect me to heal myself and be a miracle worker, and yet you don't give me any resources. So just ask yourself, how much of those messages are coming from your body? And that is something that you can address. You can right now drink a glass of water. You can right now take a deep breath. All of those things, they're not luxuries. They're things you do for your body to keep your body and your mind as healthy as possible. When you think of a massage, it's not about thinking that it's a luxury or it's a pampering. We ignore our body and we tell it all the time that it's not worth our attention. It's not worth our time and our love and our care and our nurturing. We say it all the time to our body. Thank you. I like it too. Tara was enjoying my crystal pendant. We tell our bodies all the time that they aren't worth our energy, that they aren't worth our attention and our love. And then we wonder why we're angry and hurt and frustrated and anxious and depressed and overwhelmed and stressed out. We wonder about that. And then we think, oh my God, I can't totally change my diet. I don't have time for that. I don't have energy. I can't go and start this big workout routine. I can't do these things. But you can start the ball rolling by doing something small that makes you feel good. And when you feel good, then you want to feel good some more. And you want to feel good some more. You can start with something very small. Even if it's energy work of just touching and honoring the places that are uncomfortable in your body, whether it's your digestive system, your throat, your head, or your neck, or your heart, or your arm, or your hip. You can just give it that love and attention. That's a physical act. Because when you touch your knee, your body says, oh, why are you touching my knee? And it sends blood there, and it sends nervous system signals, and it relaxes the muscles. It does all sorts of crazy things just when you rest your hand on your knee, when you give it a pressure point. So something as simple as that is nurturing and loving for your body. Get out of the thought process and the fight or flight that says this is your fault, which could totally be true. It could be somebody else's fault, but who cares? The point is, all right, what can I do right now that will make me feel better? That is nurturing to my body, because at least a part of this anger and a part of this problem is that our body is screaming at us, telling us that we need something. Tara was just speaking to her partner about this. She says she comes alive in nature and stillness activities. Yeah, exactly. That's when we don't get that, when we don't put our feet on the ground and get connected to the electromagnetic waves coming off the earth, the vibration of the earth, when we don't hear the birds and see the birds, yes, nature refreshes us, and it's a really cool thing that we can do, and it doesn't take long. So they did another research, because I love research, about productivity and where people's desks were. And also they did it with prisons, too. Super interesting. So I'll use the prison one, because that's the one I ran across most recently. They had a prison, and they built it without any rhyme or reason, thinking about anything. But on one side of the prison, there was nature and grass, and they could hear, sounds from outside. And the other side, it was all you saw were, concrete and buildings and things like that. So like the outside of the prison, if you were on the outside wall of the hotel or the inside wall of the hotel. And we all know what that's like. We all want the one, well, unless you like the quiet or something, but we generally want the one that looks out onto nature. We want the view. Because when we have the view and we have that connection, we have fewer mental health issues. And this is what the prison found, that the people who had cells on the side where they had access to looking at nature or seeing nature had fewer mental health issues than the people who were on the inside of the prison where they didn't get that. It's been true and studied over and over. If your desk looks outside and you can see a bird and some grass, you're more productive because it keeps you occupied and alive and stimulated and connected. Whereas if your desk is in a cubicle where there's nothing there, then you'll have more mental health issues. You'll struggle more with stress and anxiety. So I want you to look at that. Instead of thinking or believing that when you're angry, that it's somebody else's fault or it's a situation's fault, or if I just get a new job or I just get a new spouse or if I just get a new life or I just drive off a bridge, then everything's going to be better. In reality, ask yourself, you know what? What would make me feel good right now? What am I missing? And when you get that need met, you calm down, you get out of fight or flight, your rational mind comes back online, and now you have the solution to the problem. Because that's how it works. When we're in fight or flight, our rational mind is checked out. But when we are in a grounded, open-minded space, that's when we can really problem solve and move forward. So, if you're angry, do one thing today that makes you feel good. And then if it makes you feel good, maybe a little bit later, do another thing that makes you feel good. Because the more of that you have in your life, the happier, healthier, more functional you can be. Tara says, science has shown trees share an energetic network where they can send energy and nutrients to the other ones. Yeah, isn't that cool? It is like electricity. Science is finding more and more how physically, not just in our head, hey Carrie, how physically interconnected we are, okay? How much our bodies can feel what's going on is picking up signals that we're completely unaware of. And over and over and over, we're finding that out, that things are talking to us, we're talking to them, and it comes out to us, it communicates to us as an emotion, as anxiety or stress or anger or frustration or aggravation or overwhelm or burnout. This is how it comes out in us. And then we get distracted and dodged. Our mind tries to come up with the reason as to why we feel this way, whose fault it is, when in reality, we may just need to do some deep breathing. Okay? So homework today, one thing that makes you feel good, awesome. And then I would love to hear what happened, what you did. I'd love to have you share, what you did to make yourself feel better or any of your stories or experiences. So I'm glad you're here. So glad you joined me. And I will see you tomorrow morning. I'm looking forward to reading everybody's stories. Okay?